Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Oh boy, time to step on toes again.
Cause I'm stepping on my toes, but I don't stop. I make flips out of my flaws.
So why is it that the church celebrates every other holiday except for the ones in the Bible?
What did he say?
Stop. What do you mean by that?
The Most High lists all his holy days in his word. By the way, that's where the word holiday comes from. It's from holy day. Keep that in mind. But in Leviticus 23, he lists all his holy days. Oh wait, I forgot. We don't do the Old Testament, right? We don't do the old law. But doesn't it say that these statutes are forever? And it even says in Zechariah 14:16 that we will be celebrating the Feast of Tabernacle even in the millennial kingdom. So let's talk about these feasts a little bit. The feasts correspond to the various seasons. 3 feasts in the spring, or the barley harvest, 1 feast in the summer, or the wheat harvest, and 3 feasts in the fall, or the fruit harvest. We can take that word season and look at the Hebrew and see that it's moed, and it actually means appointed time or meeting place. That gives a different understanding when you go back to the Exodus story and see that the original command of Pharaoh in Exodus 5:1 was to let them go so they can go out in the wilderness and have a feast to Yah. Sounds like he had an appointment for a meeting with his people. And this concept repeats throughout scripture, like in Deuteronomy 16:16, where it says that Israel was supposed to meet up with the Most High 3 times a year on various feast days. These holy days, these feast days, are appointment times for the Most High and shadows of things to come, like it says in Colossians 2:16. Not just arbitrary days. There's purpose to these days. So if these days are so important, why don't we celebrate them? Good question. Well, without getting into the extensive history of it, the main reason we don't is to keep us in deception and sin. Just how Satan wants us. Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, even New Year's. Most of these holidays go back to pagan worship. In the famous words of LeVar Burton, don't take my word for it, go look it up. You'll hear a lot of people say that the Bible doesn't tell us when the Messiah was born. But that's only because they don't bother to look into it, don't bother to do the research. Luke actually does a pretty good job of telling us exactly the timing when he was born. And if you would do that research, you'll find out that he was born during the Feast of the Tabernacle, he was killed on Passover, and he rose, or more accurately, he ascended to his Father and was deemed the acceptable sacrifice on the Feast of First Fruits. No Easter. In fact, the only time you even saw the word Easter was in Acts 12:4, where there was a mistranslation in the King James Version, which was actually fixed in every other version. The Greek word there that was used for the translation was Pascha, which every other iteration meant Passover. So officially, Easter does not exist in the Bible. The New Year was actually supposed to start 2 weeks before Passover, at the start of spring, not the middle of winter, according to Exodus 12:2. Wouldn't that make more sense anyway? Not in the middle of winter, but at the beginning of spring? All this to sow confusion and deception in our minds by changing the times and the law, just like it talks about in Daniel 7:25. This is a part of the devil's playbook. Start wising up to it.